What's up everybody, it's Rack from Kicks on Fire, fresh back from the Converse Chuck 2 Ready for More event. It was held in Converse's native Boston, and day one we spent at their headquarters. We spent the first part of that in their flagship store. It's a beautiful retail space that they've put up just for the people of Boston. In there you can get exclusive Boston only releases, actually releases exclusive to that store, not even found elsewhere in Boston or online. Beautiful sneakers inspired by Boston with some great details. Also, there's a bespoke section where you can get crazy, really grainier about bespoking and creating your own Chuck Taylor. It's absolutely awesome. There's like something like 200,000 different combinations of things between printing and your materials and the different combinations and reflective and all kinds of cool stuff that you can do with your Chucks. Definitely awesome and a real treat for the people of Boston. From there we got to check out their new Rubber Track studio. It's a beautiful state-of-the-art recording studio that they use to help local musicians record for free. And get this, Converse doesn't even own the rights to the music recorded there, so they were telling us they actually even have to ask permission from the artists who record there to share that music. So it's a real genuine helping the artistry and the community there. It's awesome, awesome. They also do Rubber Tracks Live, which is like a concert or live version of that initiative, and they'll bring in big names to help fill the concerts, but in order for the big names to participate in those concerts, they have to choose a local artist to open for them. So it's a really cool initiative. It was a beautiful space, and it definitely speaks to the fact that the Chuck Taylor or Converse has really become sort of the signature shoe for musicians and creatives and street artists, etc. So the rest of the time spent in the building was going through their archives, looking at some of the earliest Chuck Taylors, watching it evolve from the performance basketball sneaker that it started as to the signature creative shoe. I'm just gonna keep calling it the signature creative shoe. It is a signature shoe for the creative type. We had a beautiful dinner and some drinks while we learned a little bit more about the company, its history, and its brand identity. The next day kicked right off with the event. We were taken to take a look at the Chuck Taylor and hear what went into it. It was an awesome story, 2 years in the making. They went on tour with rock bands, worked with street artists, fine artists. They got in touch with anyone they could who really loved the Chuck Taylor, and they learned one thing, that they wanted more from the Chuck Taylor, and they really wanted Converse not to f up the Chuck Taylor.
Don't mess that thing up.
And so with that, they got obsessive and they went nuts, and they've created the Chuck Taylor 2. I think it's an awesome follow-up. You guys will hear more about that in just a second, but let's go ahead and take a look at the sneaker, because I'm sure that's what a lot of you are here for. So here I have the brand new Chuck 2, already heavily worn, which I'm sure they would be proud of. I mean, is it even a Chuck Taylor until it's been scuffed on the toe? They're made of a premium canvas now. You could really feel and see the difference in hand. They also have an improved shape, which I think you guys could probably catch on the camera. It's a premium feel all the way across the board, and there's definitely subtle details that make that happen. And a lot of photos you're gonna say, oh, it's just like the Chuck Taylor one, and that's a good thing. They didn't want to F up the Chuck, right? So it looks a lot like it, but it's definitely improved. It's got a more modern fit. It's closer to true to size. I still went a half size down personally, but most didn't. I would say 90% of them didn't. So you might go true to size. I think that's the official recommendation. Also here on the patch, you can see now it's embroidered. Did you guys know this was originally a performance thing? In early basketball games, you would rub ankles, I guess. That was the thing. So the patch was put there to help protect against that. The tongue is greatly improved. It's got a memory foam padding, which is fantastic, and it's gore webbed, which means unlike previous Chuck Taylors, it won't move too far to the left, right, fall, flop, fold. It'll just stay put, unless you don't want it to. So get this, they were very, very careful to give you access to the gore webbing so that you could cut it yourself if you wanted it to go flippy floppy like the original Chuck did. Again, maybe that's something some people liked and they didn't want to F up the Chuck. On the inside you've got a micro suede liner, which makes it really comfortable on the parts of your foot or ankle that aren't in a sock, that sometimes sit in a Converse. I'm sure you guys have dealt with that before. It feels really good. On the inside, of course, the most popular new feature, it does feature Nike's Lunar Lawn, a modern cushioning system. It's a drop-in midsole, so it's got great step-in comfort, and it really still kind of feels like a Chuck. You could just wear this a lot longer and your feet will be thanking you for the Lunar Lawn. It's something that we've been doing on our own with Chuck Taylors, or that you've seen in some collaborations, but it's awesome to get it in the Chuck Taylor proper. The Lunar Lawn's got me excited. Might we see some Nike Flyknit or some other technologies come and new materials?
I think I'll answer this the best way I can. First, I love your columns. I think you're rad.
Thank you, man.
The nature of innovation is sort of such. I'm going to do the political answer. The nature of the work that we work on in innovation is sort of really secret, and it's kind of our advantage, and we can't really foreclose some of the things that we have coming. The only thing I can say is that we are constantly working, and we have things coming that you will absolutely be excited about. So, my political answer.
Also, another small detail, but I was actually talking with the designers, and they even made the aglets on the laces longer, so it's easier to change out and rethread your laces. I mean, that's something anyone who's had a Chuck Taylor knows is a great improvement. So going back to Converse's heritage, obviously they were a rubber company first, and so they've done great work on the gum sole. It's an awesome rubber. Very tacky. As you can see, I brought home pretty much all of Boston stuck to the bottom of my Converse here. It's a great color, a great feel, really gives you some good traction out there. They said the rock bands were really asking for better traction, and they definitely got it. This gum sole is something that they obsessed over, having been obviously a rubber company in the past, and they've actually created a proprietary blend, and this will be the only place to get this gum sole is on the Chuck 2. The Chuck 2 is going to come in 4 colors initially: white, red, blue, and black, and both high and low, and actually it's out today. So you can go buy a pair right now actually for $74.99 at your favorite Chuck Taylor retailer. Say that 3 times fast. Or on Converse.com. Before I let you guys go, I did get to have a quick word with one of the designers of the Chuck Taylor 2, a little bit about what it was like to get the assignment and how he was feeling to see it released to the world, and I'll leave you guys with that. For everything else, you could follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Kicks on Fire. Make sure you have the Kicks on Fire app installed on your mobile phone if it's Android or iOS. We have got a brand new interface we think you guys are really gonna love. You can follow me personally at RackTVShift on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And I'll see you guys on the social networks. Thanks again, Converse. I want to ask about you personally at 3 different points. Okay. The point when you're told you're gonna work on this project, at whatever point you felt like you really had it, and how you're feeling today. And that's all I want to know.
Simple. The point when I specifically heard about it, and I can kind of speak for the team, mix of excitement and heaviness. Yeah. This is one where you know, I mean, you have to get this right, and you better go as hard as you possibly can with everybody. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is one like you legitimately cannot get wrong. Right. But excitement mostly, that really carried it. When we knew we had it, I think we knew we had it when we put it on. And when I came back from the factory and we saw we put it on, and we kind of were like giddy kids at like Christmas. Right. Legitimately put on, we're like, oh man, this is different. And gave it to the wear test guys, and the wear test group started bringing back the data, and it was the shockingly positive. Wear tests never go shockingly positive. Right. People were like jumping out windows trying to get them. And then what was the third part? Like,
how are you feeling today?
Oh, how
right
I'm feeling
now?
Today?
It's out there. Is there somebody, you know what might be a good follow-up? Is there someone in particular whose feedback you've been waiting on, or you're still waiting to hear back from?
No, I think the coolest thing is being able to just see honest feedback from our consumers. And I've been on Instagram just looking at everybody's posts. I'm excited to see what everybody says. But I mean, today I feel really excited. I feel like I can't believe that I get the opportunity to sort of be here at this time and work here. Yeah. And genuinely, like, the small parts that I play in these things, like, come on, man. That's awesome. This is the greatest feeling in the world. I wouldn't trade this for anything.